Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Alexis here. If it's your first time watching any of my videos, welcome. I'm Alexis in the Air Force Reserves as a flight medic, or the long version is Air Medical Evacuation Technician. Doing cool things in the Air Force, basically. But in this video, I'm going to talk about contract renewal. Right? At a certain point in your contract, you have to think about what's next. Personally, I've been in for 4 years. So I'm even at that point where I need to think about what's next. Am I going to extend, re-enlist? Am I just going to do my initial commitment? So let's get into it. The first thing that you need to know is that for a reservist, the initial commitment is 6 years plus an inactive 2 years. The inactive 2 years, you're not going to drills, but in case the president is like, we need everybody, then you're going, right? But your initial commitment is 6 years where you're doing drills and you're actively serving, right? And so there's nothing smaller than 6. On the active duty side, you have the option to do 4. Reserve, the bare minimum is 6, yeah? So after your 6 years, you can re-enlist for a subsequent 2, starting at 2, all the way up into 6 more years. So it's a big decision, right? So I want to talk about things that you want to think about, things that I'm thinking about to make that decision on like what's going to be next for you. So the first thing that you want to think about are the benefits, right? I am serving. I also make sure this service serves me, right? So the benefits that you may be releasing if you decide to just do your initial commitment and keep it moving, right? So benefits like education benefits, for instance, the Montgomery GI Bill, which you have access to, is only good for while you're in the service and you're actively serving, right? So that's something that you're going to give up. And if you're going to opt for that one, then you'd have to use it while you're in the service, right? Another benefit that people always talk about and kind of contemplate when they think about separating is insurance, right? Like family insurance, life insurance, we get that at a pretty low cost as a result of being in the military. I think my dental is like $12 and my like medical is like 25 or something. It's very, very low, right? Now the civilian side can get real pricey. And then also experience being a flyer is super cool. Anytime I put on my uniform, I'm like, yeah, let's go, I'm ready. Yeah, we're about to do some really important stuff. And I love that feeling. So the experience of being a flyer, being able to go to different places, be able to intrinsically just like do a good thing is super, super cool. And the experience you get in this job, some people on the active duty side never get that experience, right? Some people on active duty never deploy, they never leave their base, and that is just not an option. It's something that would not be a thing as a flight medic. So you're giving up that experience too. You're giving up the family that you create, and just the trauma bonds that you make with every flyer that you meet, right? Because we go through a lot to become qualified, to remain qualified, and to do the job actually, right? So those are some of the benefits that you're kind of releasing if you decide to just do the initial commitment. Something else that you want to consider, right, is civilian opportunities or veteran opportunities after the fact. You know, on the civilian side, having that military experience can be very beneficial. You just have to figure out how to word it on your resume. And let me tell you, my resume, especially after my deployment, looks so good, guys. You just have to figure out how to translate that on paper because you do so much. Even when you're not actually doing the mission, when you're in your unit, your drill weekends, when you're in charge of programs, when you're in an NCO, like you have other responsibilities and skills that the civilian sector is just gonna eat up. Right? So consider how your job translates on the outside or how this job translates on the outside. And could you be making more money on the outside, right? Could you be securing some really great opportunities as a result of just being a veteran too? right? So kind of weigh the options and what your life could look like if you left, or what kind of opportunities you could benefit from as a result of doing your 6-year commitment. And then lastly, you want to kind of evaluate, are you ready to make a successful and smooth transition? Because it is a transition. I was going through some of these like TAP courses, they call them, and I think it's transition assistance program that you have to do before you deploy and after you come back. And they talk about transitioning because you're leaving active duty service, not really the military, but you're transitioning from active duty back to, you know, just regular life. And it is a transition. And I think we don't think about how big of a transition it might actually be. Like this level of camaraderie, is that how you say it? I feel like I'm not saying that right. Camaraderie. The feeling of a family. You know, that feeling where every month you get to see some really great people, you get to do a hard thing with them and accomplish things that you never thought you would have. That feeling is gone, right? So are you ready to make that transition? Are you ready to kind of be completely in control of your job search and all of these things and securing opportunities? You don't really have that level of stability that you have with the military when you're out on the civilian side. So are you ready to make that transition? Have you accomplished the things that you said that you wanted to while being in service? Right? Have you not? What did you want to accomplish, right? I came in with very specific goals, and I'm better because I've been in the service. Evaluate where you were before you entered, and then as you're exiting, if you want to exit, what's the difference, right? And what do you still need? Or what do you still want to do in the service too? So kind of do that evaluation if you want your career to be military or if you want your career to be civilian. All right, so that evaluation step needs to take place too when it comes to this enlistment. I would say personally for me, and also, I'm adding a bonus point. Also, think about lifestyle, right? I think this job has really shown me what it requires of you. And I also have a clear picture of the kind of lifestyle I want. And so kind of balance and see if that aligns, right? If that's something that you want to continue to do or not, you know? So all good questions, make a list, see what's best for you, and just go with that. Right? I've been 4 years in. I know what I want to do, but it's different for everyone, right? It's different for everyone. So I can't tell you what to do, but you can ask yourself those questions. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. As always, subscribe, click the notification bell as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video like always. Peace.